he's doing, how it all turned to lies. Sometimes I think that it's better to never ask why.
Hello people, it's nice to have you join us again on SME'S Weekly, the program where we put together efforts, ideas and initiatives on how to grow our micro, small and medium enterprises. I am Ezinne Egesi. Many thanks for joining me.
He's doing, how it all turned to lies. Sometimes I think that it's better to never ask why.
Moving ahead to today's agenda, let's look at tackling youth unemployment through creative skills development. The inability of government to do long-term planning coupled with a faulty educational system has been identified as the bane of youth unemployment. Entrepreneur and success coach Dr. Olumide Emmanuel in this exclusive interview with Tolu Ajayi says the nation's faulty educational system has made graduates job seekers and not entrepreneurs who should create employment. Enjoy more from this interview.
Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, thank you very much for being my guest on SME'S Weekly today.
Thanks for having me.
Let us start this way. Nigeria has a very rich cultural and youth population, very rich cultural diversity. But in spite of all this, our problem has been great youth unemployment. How do you think we got to this stage?
Well, I think one of the major reasons why we're where we are is because of lack of big picture thinking and long-term planning, and also because of the kind of educational system that we have. One of the things I've come to realize is that the educational system as it is right now cannot take us to where we need to be, because most of the educational platforms that we have now is geared towards raising people to become job seekers and not job creators. And until we are able to sort out that dichotomy, we're going to continue to have problems, because millions of people graduate every year from different educational platforms and they are looking for a job. Now the question is, who will create the jobs that these guys are looking for? Because it's not the responsibility of the government to create jobs. The responsibility of the government is to create an enabling environment and put infrastructures in place so that small businesses can thrive, because all over the world, it is small businesses that grow the economy. But in this part of the world, people go to school and then they come out and they're looking for a job. So who will create the job? So until we come up with what I call holistic education that empowers and equips people with the ability to start their own businesses, with the ability to become solution providers and problem solvers, we're going to remain in the problem. For instance, look at even from the educational point of view, let's look at it. Every year, right now, all the universities in Nigeria has less than 300,000 admissions per annum. All the universities, all over the country, has less than 300,000 admissions per annum. And we have about 1.5 million people writing JAMB every year. So that means that every year, whether you are brilliant or not, whether you pass JAMB or not, about 1.2 million students will not be able to gain admission. Now, question, why must everybody go to university? Why must everybody go to the polytechnic? Because we don't have holistic education. Most of these people that are going to universities are going to study chemistry, whereas they are supposed to be caterers. Some of them are going to study architecture, whereas they are supposed to be actors and actresses. So where are the other aspects of education? We're talking about, drama schools, acting school, catering school, fashion school. We're talking about different dimensions of education that will equip and empower people to become solution providers. You've gone to school, I've gone to school, millions of Nigerians have gone to school. Over 85% of what they teach you in school is useless the day you graduate. You don't use it in the real world. So why do we keep sending people to 4 years, 5 years of school to go and learn something that is useless to them? So the challenge is lack of vision and foresight, and our educational sector is faulty.
Yes, you alluded to the role holistic education can play. Can you tell us more about what exactly holistic education is, and why has its unavailability, how has it impacted youth unemployment?
Now, holistic education is an education that gives you the total picture. You see, when the teachings that we have right now, the mindset that we have right now, the paradigm that we have right now is go to school, get a certificate, get a job so that you can earn a living. That paradigm is wrong. Why? Because it is incomplete. If you tell people go to school, get a certificate so that you can get a job and you can earn a living, and you don't tell them that there are other opportunities, there are other pathways, then you are limiting them to only that pathway. And that's why everybody thinks, I have to go to school, I have to go to school. So because you told them that's the only opportunity. But if you let them know that, look, discover your gifts and your passion, develop your gift and your passion, deploy your gift and your passion, that is the summation of life. Everyone on earth has a gift, has a talent, has a potential. The Creator has put everything in you to help you be sustained here and to help you add value. So everything we're talking about education is simply, what is your passion? What are your gifts? What are your desires? Then where do you develop that? And once you're able to develop that, you become skillful in it, you deploy it. So if the institutionalized academic education is not what you need, you don't need that. Then you need to look for where you can. Now, for instance, for generations, there are people from the eastern part of this country that have developed a system, and that's why they are more like the most entrepreneurial aspect of this world, because they've developed a system to harness and help people develop the entrepreneurial aspect of their life. So a young man, once he gets his basic education, so what everybody needs is, you need basic education. So basic education should be compulsory and basic education should be free, because everything about education is the ability to read, the ability to write, the ability to do mathematics. Anything education, that's the three major reasons, so that you can read, so that you can write, so that you can add figures together. Once you are able to do that, you are already educated. And that is settled at basic level. Once you get that, the question is, now that I have ability to read and write and do mathematics, what are my giftings? What are my potential? What are my passion? Where can I now learn that? So these guys do primary school, and then they go attach themselves to someone as a mentor, and they are under apprenticeship for 5 to 10 years of their life. And through that, they learn what matters. They may not know Pythagoras' theorem, they may not know Archimedes' principle, but they understand Naira and Kobo, they understand demand and supply, they understand market forces, they understand import and export. And at the end of the day, they create businesses, they open branches, they have warehouses, they are involved in importation, they are involved in export, they create jobs. Which is better? So at the end of the day, we know that there are aspects of life that requires academic education. You want to be a medical doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be an engineer, you want to be a pilot, no problem. But everybody should not be put in the same mold, and you now expect them to fulfill purpose. It's not going to happen, because what we are seeing happening right now is we are bringing monkeys and fishes and tigers and birds. We are putting them together in one mold and expecting them to succeed. Monkeys don't succeed in water. They are supposed to be on the tree. Fishes don't succeed on the tree. They are supposed to be in the water. So when you put a fish and a monkey together in the water, the monkey will fail, not because it's a failure, but because your strategy is wrong. When you put the fish on the tree, the fish will fail, not because the fish is a failure, but your strategy is wrong. So the educational sector has conferred dullness, has conferred failure, has conferred uselessness on a lot of people that have the ingenuity and the creativity that is beyond the capacity of the educational sector. So holistic education is an education that lets people know all the options that are available and gives them the platform to explore the one that is better for them.
He's doing, how it all turned to lies. Sometimes I think that it's better
Welcome back. For those of you who just joined us, it's SME'S Weekly here on Galactic Television. The adage goes, what a man can do, a woman can do better. But the interview I'm about to show you with Tolu Ajayi puts a little twist to that adage. What a woman can do, well, a man can at least try. Anyway, this promising young man is not doing bad at all when it comes to hairdressing. He is an entrepreneur who has chosen the world of women as a career. Now let's see what inspires him and, of course, some of his works. Enjoy.
Ever wonder about what he's doing? How it all turned to lies? Sometimes I think that it's better to never ask why.
Yeah, I want to say very big thank you for allowing me to speak with you. Can we have a little background of who you are?
Actually, my name is Olabode Adesina. Born and brought up in Lagos. Went to Lagos school and all that. I started working as a stylist far back as 2000. I came into the job through a friend.
Yeah, I was just coming to ask you that. What informed your choice of business? A male hairstylist in a female world. Tell me, what informed your choice of business, and for how long have you been doing it?
Far back as 2000, as I said earlier, now it should be 16 years of me in this business, and I have been doing it since then in this same Lagos. I have friends who does this far back as I am 1997, 98. I used to go to the shop where they work, so I like them doing it, so that's where I started from. In the first place when I started, it wasn't that easy, but along the line, I started liking the work. I love it basically because I like doing it. Then the ladies I have as a customer, they have been wonderful too, so that makes me like the job.
Okay, another thing I would like you to share with us is this. It's getting really interesting. Viewers would like to know what it was like when you started the business. Were you not a bit apprehensive? Were you not shy? You know, going into a woman's world. This is basically a female-dominated world. What was it like when you started?
It's interesting. In the first way when I started, I didn't like it. Like I said earlier, I was like, this is a woman's job. But with time, I started liking the job, and till date, I still love it. It's very interesting.
Good. Now tell me, when you started training to be a hairstylist, were you trained by a man or a lady?
A man.
Okay.
A man who happens to be my friend.
How long? For how long did you train?
I catch up on time, so I cannot say, but it should be more than 6 months. 6 months.
Interesting. Tell me, what is your strength at this time? You know, fine, you're doing well in a female-dominated industry, but what is your strength at this time? What can you do with your designs?
Job on its own is based on 2 types, which I know, which is the braiding type or the fixing type. But I based on fixing. I can do any type of fixing, short, long, name it, bridal hairs. I don't braid.
Why is it you don't braid?
It takes time, and I don't think I like it. I prefer the fixing, so that's why I go for the fixing.
So you're telling me that there's a lot of magic in your hands when you start with a woman's hair?
Yes.
Okay, now how is the market? How is your clients? How are the the females, the women? How are they warming up to your designs?
Yeah.
Do they like it or do they complain sometimes?
Because there's no job without difficulties. At times you might make somebody stay and that person doesn't like it. But at times you do it and they like it. But most of my customers love my job because I always take my time to do their hair.
Who would you say is your biggest customer? Maybe a celebrity that you've done her hair.
Z.
Okay.
She's a musician.
Okay, musician.
Yes.
Okay. Getting really interesting. Another thing I would like to talk about is what challenges you, what motivates you, what inspires you.
Like I said, I used to go to my friend's shop where they make hair. I love them doing it. So one day I started doing it with them. Although I didn't have the intention of doing it as a work for today, but with time I started liking the job. So that interests me.
Okay, now, you know, like anything that is creative is what you keep developing every day.
Exactly.
For artists, some artists sleep and they see themselves drawing. And those things they draw, when they wake up, they do. Exactly, that's where I'm going.
That happens to me too. At times I sleep and do something like, okay, maybe I make a hair and I didn't really get it the way it's supposed to be. Then I sleep over like, okay, if I do it like this, it's supposed to come like this and all that. So sometimes when I sleep over it, I get the inspiration.
Oh, interesting. Now, a lot of the younger generations that we have today, they shy away from doing stuffs with their hand. They shy away from empowering themselves with necessary skills that, you know, that we all grew up with back in the days. Now, what are you doing to help these younger generations to also tap from your creative talent?
Yes, I've taught a lot of people how to make this hair. Far back as 2004, 5, 6. Till date, I still train people on how to make hair. After them, so many people of them, some of them are out of the country already working for themselves and they are doing really well. I've taught them so many about it.
The nation at this time is experiencing an economic downturn or recession. Is this affecting, you know, how is it affecting you as a businessman?
Recession on its own, it's an economical breakdown, like you said, so it affects everybody generally. Although it turns down the multiple of people coming here like it used to be. But we thank the Lord, due to our work and the pride, like we still have our customer coming to us. So it's not really affecting like that.
Let's also talk about support of finance. How have you been able to finance your business and sustain it? Who has been supporting you? The banks, maybe?
No, I don't do that. I don't do bank facility loans, I don't do all that. My work is sufficient for me. So I work towards my target, and by God's grace, I meet up.
There are parents who skate or whose children are creative. What would you advise a parent who sees, you know, a creative talent in his or her children?
Based on that question, I actually don't like parents discouraging their children on what to do. Somebody like me, even when customers like, I have a sister who wants to learn, what I always ask them is, are you sure you are the one who wants to bring the person, or the person wants to come on her own or on his own? But I like it when you have it in mind and you want to learn, other than somebody is telling you to go and learn it and you don't get that on time. But when you have it in mind of you doing it, it makes it easier. But for parents discouraging their children on learning creativities, I don't think that's a good idea. I believe it's a world where you do things that you have in mind, especially when it's of the good. I like this job. I can tell anybody to learn it. For me, it's a good job.
The internet today has helped a lot of people to shape their business. There are loads of information you can get from the internet, lots of designs. You know, how has this also helped your business?
Yes, it has helped me a lot. On WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and all that. It has been helping. We send pictures, we receive pictures, send messages and address like that. So it has been helping. The internet has been helping business.
Another thing I would like to look at on the final note is this perception about, you know, ladies love Brazilian hair. And there was even this joke that with time, the Brazilian ladies may not have hairs on their heads anymore. Now, on a lighter note, have you been able to convince, or do you convince people to patronize Made in Nigeria, including doing Nigerian hair or local made hair? Or do some of your customers prefer to do some of these designs, or they always go for the foreign designs?
None of them. They don't do all those old styles again. They prefer the Brazilian hair, the Peruvian hair, and all that. They don't know what they do, especially the ladies out there. They prefer the Brazilians. And even if they want to do anything off it, they prefer their natural hair. Natural hair.
I would like to say a very big thank you to you for allowing me, for sharing your thoughts and those very vital informations with us on SME'S Weekly today. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Ever wonder about what he's doing? How it all turned to lies? Sometimes I think that it's better to never ask why.
Well, I hope you did enjoy that interview. This is where we wrap up the program. Don't forget that you can be part of the show by dropping your thoughts and comments on our social media platforms displayed on your screen. I am Ezinne Egesi. Till we meet another time, do have an amazing day.